God's wrath is being unleashed on humanity because we failed too many of his tests. I went into prayer, hurting and in tears, asking him, why do the wicked always seem to win on earth? The reply that I got was shocking. He told me, because we allow it. And though some people like to blame him for the world's failures, it is humanity projecting our trauma we caused each other onto him. He says when he gifted us this earth, it was in a perfect state for our survival. He gave us 100% dominion over it, along with the free will to do with it as we pleased without his interference. That's the whole point of free will, but he created it in a way that it would only work harmoniously if we remain truthful within ourselves and each other and maintained compassion, love, and mercy for one another. As long as we held on to them principles, we would be able to build a solid foundation and create a second heaven. At the beginning, it worked harmoniously. Everyone was honest with each other, and most importantly, themselves. Everyone had their desires, just like humanity today, because that's what he instilled into humanity, was desire. In fact, it came with the intelligence that also God bestowed to us, and a big part of that intelligence was the desire to create, because that's what God is, not only the creator, but creation itself. We are part of his creation, and we are also creators ourselves. Well, somewhere down the line, we lost our way, which plunged the world into dishonesty, hate, violence, ignorance, and greed. Due to this darkness, we are currently going through trials and tribulations placed on us by the rules God placed within the earth at the foundation of its creation. These rules test our worthiness to continue the gift of life on earth. These are the same trials and tribulations you've read in the book of Revelations, which is not only talking about a past or a future event, but it's mainly talking about the present, the here and now. We don't have long before the destruction. In fact, the planet is being prepped for it because we still haven't proven ourselves worthy to continue to have this gift called life on earth. Instead, we made it into a place of pain, suffering, cowardice, and vanity. God said we have allowed the worst of us to take a hold of key positions on earth and dictate its rules, which is completely the opposite of what he intended for humanity. God allowed this to happen because the point of earth was to gift us free will and dominion, even over all the animals and nature itself, based off our intelligence, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. But he also instilled deep within the nature of our existence on earth is again the principles of loving your neighbor as yourself, compassion, mercy, and the ability to create together in harmony. And if these principles are violated, and we are too cowardly to defend these principles, God said the earth will naturally create tribulations and put us on trial for worthiness with no interference from him. It is up to the collective to change things before we are completely destroyed. So in a constant state of violating these principles, we would automatically get corrupt world leaders, governments, and corporations bent on deceiving, controlling, and destroying the planet out of ignorance, greed, and lust. Unruly children, murderers, thieves, rapists, and all the other nasty abominations that can happen in a world that's missing the principles of love, compassion, and mercy. God said there's currently 3 different major and final tribulations we are going to go through before the complete annihilation of all life on earth. One was the COVID pandemic and everything that went along with it, from the mask mandates, the shutting down of the world's economy, to the vaccinations. All of it was a test to see if these principles of love, mercy, and compassion will reignite. It didn't. In fact, all it did was shift the power even more into the hands of the wicked.
They control the military-industrial complex, the news media, the music industry, Hollywood, big tech, big pharma, and all the big banks and central banks around the world. They control the ultra-processed food industry, specifically designed to make us all sick. They own and control all the smut and filth used to subvert Christian society. They were responsible for both world wars. They were responsible for the attacks on 9/11. They were responsible for the COVID pandemic and the poisonous injection that they falsely labeled a vaccine. They were responsible for Jeffrey Epstein and the child sex ring operation that was used to control U.S. politicians, celebrities, and billionaires through blackmail. And it is more than apparent that international organized Jewry controls our Congress, our president, this council, this mayor, and the mayor's corrupt brother, Congressman Frank Pallone. My legal arguments were ignored, so now it's time to get biblical. I'm sure you're all under the impression that the modern state of Israel is somehow connected to the Israel from the Bible. It's not. Israel, also known as Jacob, was a man, not a land and not a country. He had descendants that were known as the children of Israel or the Israelites. However, an overwhelming majority of modern-day Israelis have absolutely no ancestral connection to the Middle East or the ancient Israelites of the Bible. They are Ashkenazi Jews of European descent who can trace their ancestry back to Khazaria, what is now modern-day Ukraine. These people claim to be Jews, but are not. They are actually the synagogue of Satan, as stated in Revelation 2:9 and 3:9.
In fact, it was said that the COVID jabs caused mass deaths and illnesses that is not being reported by the mainstream media or the medical industry intentionally, and that it was secretly part of a mass bioweapon project to inject humanity with nanotechnology to induce sickness and for our blood cells to be controlled remotely.
Plan of what's going to happen next. So I can't say it, but I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen next. How much metal you have in your body will affect you when this thing happens. It has to do with frequency. Okay, so that I stay safe and I can come back and I stay alive, I want to tell you something. I will give you a hint to what he showed me. It's going to happen. And you have to get rid of these metals in your body. And it could happen tomorrow, it could happen, but they're going to say it's something else. You're going to have to do your own thinking about this. I don't want to get in trouble. But just stick a piece of foil in a microwave and picture that in your body. And now you know the devil's plan. Bottom line is, you got to get this out of your body.
Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am no longer optimistic anymore. And the reason is very simple. Mm-hmm. The reason is because I'm afraid that these RNA vaccines, mod RNA vaccines, whatever you want to call them, have already done their job. And what their job has been, and this is incredible, was not even known to the planners because they didn't realize that what they were doing. But it is what I said years ago, that the vessels throughout the body are going to be attacked from top to toe. This is something that never happens in any disease, okay? Systemic, meaning the brain, the heart, the liver, everything can be attacked, the vessels. And the trouble is that it's turned out to be true. So this systemic vasculitis leads to destruction of brain cells, obviously. And that is what we are now experiencing. We're seeing, I'm afraid to say, billions of people whose brains are not working anymore, not as they should be. Mm-hmm. They are altered, and they don't have the willpower anymore. They don't have the intelligence anymore to move things. And so the only chance we have is to stop this mod RNA crime, because this crime is going to destroy us. The trouble is that they're rolling out this RNA vaccines all over the place, and people don't realize this is being done.
The second major trial and tribulation is the exposing of the wickedness of the United States of America and Israel global terrorism, as well as how they are linked to Epstein and the Epstein files. The tragic genocide that's been happening in the Middle East and in Africa is now being shown on a mass scale to the world.
So this is just absolutely despicable. Remember when Israelis would set up those viewing platforms to watch the bombing going off in Gaza? They would have those areas and they would take school children up there, like on school field trips, and they would take them up there and say, look at the bombs dropping on Gaza. Well, they're at it again, but now they don't have a perch to watch the bombs dropping on Lebanon, so they've got a screen. This is not a healthy society. They're sitting there cheering bombs being dropped. They put it to music, people being murdered. Thousands of people in Lebanon have been killed. Thousands upon thousands of people in Gaza were killed. 30% of them were children. And yet the Israelis were sitting on perch tops, drinking drinks, eating snacks, and watching the show. And now they're doing it again in Lebanon. I mean, this is just unbelievable what has happened to this society, where an entire UN report just came out that details Israelis targeting children as part of their policy. They don't view them as humans. They view them as animals. And they view little 10-day-old babies, they view them as a threat. They say, oh, we've got to exterminate you. And their whole reasoning is because if we don't exterminate you, you're eventually one day going to come and exterminate us. You know, the preemptive strike, it's preemptive genocide is what it is. This society has really devolved into something very, very dangerous and scary, and it should be showcased any chance we can show it, so that people start understanding this is what we're supporting, this is what our tax dollars are going toward, and this is exactly why Americans are rejecting this.
Everyone is seeing the corruption for what it is. All the innocent men, women, and children being blown to bits for greed and the lust for power. The human trafficking and satanic ritual abuse being done to kids, as mentioned in the Epstein files, and yet we do nothing. Epstein clients being some of the most powerful and influential people in the world. Elected officials, world leaders, business execs, monarchs, celebrities, and again, collectively, we do nothing. In fact, our tax dollars are going to these individuals. They control our governments, societal infrastructure, and our military. These wicked individuals are who we depend on for our safety and security, but yet they commit atrocities day in and day out, and we still praise them, bow to them, defend them, and continuously make excuses for their corruption. We have failed our trials again, and what is the result of that? They destroy the planet, chemical, biological warfare, genetically modified organisms, war, human experimentation, mind control experiments, weather modification programs to create droughts, hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes. We have completely handed over control to the wicked and wonder why there's so much pain and suffering.
I always wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be. Like they say, you killed our God! That means he wasn't a God. How can kill a God? Normal? How stupid you could be. You killed our God! Who was your God? JC! If it was God, we could kill him.
The last and final tribulation will be quantum computing, massive data centers, artificial intelligence, cybernetics, cashless society, and a mass surveillance state where your whole life will be digitally monitored and controlled by the same wicked individuals who are on the Epstein client list. Because Earth and its inhabitants wasn't meant to be controlled in this way. It is 100% against the nature of this planet. God said this will lead to the complete obliteration of everything and everyone on the planet. We still have a short amount of time to put a stop to it, but it will take majority of the world reigniting the basic principles built into our foundation, which creates harmony and peace on Earth. And again, that's honesty, love, compassion, and mercy. The cowardly and the wicked will not make it, and those two aspects is what is leading us to our destruction. The cowards know our current state is wrong, but yet does nothing. And the wicked is acting out of lust of power, greed, and corruption. God said we have a choice on which road we want to travel, but He will not intervene. He will let nature take its course. If you haven't already, please like and share this video and get this message out there to the people. Time is of the essence. This is Night and Day Network, LLC, over and out.
I'm not even gonna lie. The joint pain I deal with every day, it slowed me all the way down. But ever since I started using this right here, Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, everything changed. And within minutes, I feel the difference. Like real relief. Now I can clean my whole house without even thinking about the pain. As a nurse, I'm on my feet all day, and this right here helps me get through my entire shift. I can actually enjoy time with my kids now. Go outside, be active, without hurting the whole time. Feels good to just live again. Honestly, if it wasn't for Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, I don't think I'd have the quality of life I have right now.
Discomfort slows you down? Reach for natural relief. Night and Day Hemp's extra strength CBD pain relief balm melts into aching muscles, delivering warmth you can feel. Soothe your body naturally. Feel free to move again. Night and Day Hemp Balm melts away tension so you can enjoy every moment. Feel the difference fast. Real relief, real results. Order now at Night and Day Herbals.